Welcome to our professional training series in divination, tarot, and astrology. The following training in astrology was developed for students that are going through the courses with the School of Our Divine Infinite Being. The order and sequence of training are created with specific elements of repetition throughout for the purpose of reinforcing memory and clarity. We wanted to make our training available to the general public here on YouTube, while also encouraging those interested in a career as a divination professional in astrology and tarot to check out our programs at www.divineinfinitebeing.com. We have post-graduation program assistance that you will not find anywhere else. This includes live video consultation technology, calendar booking, social share tools, affiliate program development, e-commerce, and the opportunity to take clients from the marketing efforts of our talented in-house staff. Again, you will find all of this at www.divineinfinitebeing.com, sponsored by astrologypro.com, the #1 platform for astrologers and tarot readers to operate their divination services. We hope you enjoy this training. Welcome to the School of Our Divine Infinite Being Astrology Product Training. Learn how to speak about each product clearly, simply, and effectively. Empower your clients to understand and choose the services they need. From insight to offering, framing astrology for the client. Astrology is a deeply insightful system, but when offered as a service, it must also be presented clearly as a product. Something the client can understand, choose, and benefit from with confidence. Even the most profound chart is ineffective if the client doesn't grasp what it offers or how it fits into their journey. This training is not about interpreting charts, it's about learning how to clearly define what each astrology product is, explain it in simple, impactful language to the client, confidently position each offering within the client's journey, know when and how to recommend each product without overwhelming or confusing the client. Astrologers often have the knowledge but struggle to translate it into language that resonates with clients. This training bridges that gap, teaching you how to speak from both wisdom and clarity. You'll learn to describe each product with confidence, make aligned recommendations, and help clients see the value of each chart before you even begin the reading. Why clients need clarity, not just insight. This training is a product-by-product walkthrough of every astrology service in our system, from foundational charts like the Nativity to advanced offerings like Uranus opposition and horary readings. But instead of focusing on the interpretation side, we'll explore the art of communicating value to the client. For each product, we will answer 3 questions. What is it? A clear, client-ready description of the offering. How do I explain it to a client? Phrases, metaphors, and context that help clients immediately understand the purpose and benefits. How do I encourage the client to get it? Guidance on when to recommend it, who it's for, and how to communicate its value without pressure or overselling. You'll also learn how to sequence offerings across the client's journey. Avoid using overly technical or astrological jargon. Speak in ways that empower the client to make an informed decision. By the end of this training, you'll have a working script and intuitive flow for how to guide clients into the right product at the right time so that your services feel less like a mystery and more like a clear, customized path. Why this matters. Turning insight into impact. The most common reason a client hesitates isn't because astrology isn't working, it's because they don't understand what they're being offered. Even powerful tools like a solar return or relationship chart lose impact when described in vague or overly technical terms. That's why learning to position your astrology products effectively is not just a marketing skill, it's a service to the client. Informed clients say yes. When clients understand what a chart does, they're more likely to purchase and benefit from it. Reduces confusion, builds trust. Clear product explanations show professionalism and build confidence in your expertise. Empowers the client journey. Clients who understand the purpose of each chart feel more engaged, more supported, and more prepared to grow. Improves client retention and referrals. A well-positioned astrology experience leads to deeper impact, and happier clients are more likely to return and recommend you. Your knowledge is already strong. This training ensures that your communication is just as effective so that your offerings feel both mystical and accessible, transformative and clearly articulated. Nativity Birth Chart, the foundational offering. The Nativity Birth Chart is a precise astrological map of the heavens at the exact moment and geographic location of a person's birth. It captures where each planet was positioned within the 12 zodiac signs and 12 houses. This chart reflects the individual's essential personality, psychological tendencies, karmic patterns, soul purpose, and energetic makeup. It is the most comprehensive and enduring chart used not just for one-time readings but as a lifelong reference point. It's the beginning of every client journey within our system. How to explain it to a client. Help the client understand that this is not just a list of personality traits, it is a spiritual, psychological, and energetic blueprint. You might say, this chart is your soul's contract with this lifetime. It shows your innate talents, your struggles, and the karmic stories you're here to resolve. It's a snapshot of the sky when you took your first breath, and astrologers read this to see what your higher self intended for you in this life. It covers your emotional wiring, Moon, how you express yourself, Sun, your relationship style, Venus, how you think, Mercury, what motivates you, Mars, and much more. Give context. This is the anchor point for all other charts. Return charts, relationship readings, transits, and predictive tools are layered on top of the natal chart. It never changes, it's like the genetic code of the soul. Encourage metaphors. It's the schematic or blueprint of the inner self. Like DNA, it contains fixed potential, but how that potential unfolds depends on awareness and choice. How to encourage the client to get it. Position this chart as the first essential product in any astrological journey. Some examples of what to say. Before we look at what's coming, we need to understand where you started. The natal chart is the key to your unique cosmic architecture. If you want meaningful insights, whether about love, career, or soul growth, we need to see how your entire system was designed. We don't do superficial summaries. This is the in-depth foundational work that brings lasting clarity and transformation. Use scenarios to help clients relate. For someone seeking clarity on life direction, this chart shows the strengths you were born with and the inner drives that shape your choices. For someone facing repetitive struggles, the natal chart helps us identify core karmic lessons, why some patterns repeat, and how to shift them. For spiritual clients, we can explore your soul path and archetypal purpose, uncovering what you're meant to embody in this lifetime. Ideal use cases. First-time clients, non-negotiable starting point. Clients at a crossroads in life, career change, identity crisis, spiritual awakening. Clients wanting in-depth, personalized self-understanding. Long-term clients needing to revisit core patterns before exploring return charts or transits. Positioning tips for astrologers. Always begin with this product before offering other readings. Reinforce its value throughout the client journey. Refer back to natal placements during other sessions. Emphasize that one can return to this chart again and again. It evolves in meaning as the client evolves in awareness. Solar Return, your year ahead blueprint. The solar return chart is cast for the exact moment the sun returns to the same degree and minute it occupied at your birth. This happens once each year, typically on or near your birthday. It acts like a personal New Year chart that overlays temporary themes, events, and shifts over your natal blueprint. Whereas the natal chart shows long-term patterns and core wiring, the solar return reflects a 12-month energetic forecast from birthday to birthday. It is a time-specific chart that highlights your growth areas, emotional focus, life direction, and external events for the coming year. This chart includes a new ascendant, setting the tone of the year, temporary house placements of planets, powerful planetary aspects showing new yearly challenges or breakthroughs. How to explain it to a client. Clients should understand that this chart is like a personalized astrological weather report for the year ahead. You might say, your solar return is a birthday reset. It tells us what this year is asking from you. It shows where your energy will be focused, what new chapters are beginning, and what life lessons are rising to the surface right now. We use this chart to prepare you for the emotional, professional, and spiritual highlights and tests of your upcoming year. Use analogies, like seasonal tides that temporarily color your path, like new chapters in a long book. This year's chapter has a distinct tone and message, like a lunar return which resets each month. The solar return sets the theme for the year. Break it down further if needed. The ascendant in the solar return shows how the client is perceived this year. The sun's house shows the central theme and focus. Other planets show emotional dynamics, relationship trends, career developments, and internal growth. How to encourage the client to get it. Position this chart as a vital annual product for both new and returning clients. You can say, if you want to get the most out of your year, this chart helps you know where to aim and what to expect. We do solar returns for birthdays so that you're not walking into your year blind. You get ahead of surprises and consciously align with the energies at play. If your birthday is approaching, this is the perfect moment to map the themes of your personal new year. Use scenarios. When a client is turning a milestone age, let's see what this cycle is opening for you. If someone feels confused or stuck at the start of the year, this will help you regain direction. When timing major decisions, we can see if this is a year of action, planning, or introspection. Ideal use cases. During the client's birthday window, 30 days before or after. For returning clients who already have their natal chart done. When entering a new calendar year or astrological year, when life feels in flux or like something new is beginning. Positioning tips for astrologers. Recommend a solar return session annually, especially with long-term clients. Refer back to the natal chart to contrast stable versus changing patterns. If the solar return chart is especially intense, e.g. cluster of planets in 12th house, let the client know how to navigate it. Jupiter return. Cycles of expansion and opportunity. A Jupiter return occurs approximately every 12 years when transiting Jupiter returns to the same zodiac sign, degree, and minute it occupied at your birth. This astrological event signals the beginning of a new 12-year growth cycle. It marks a period of spiritual renewal, outer expansion, inner faith, and increased opportunities. While the natal chart reflects long-term structure and the solar return reflects the year's personal climate, the Jupiter return is about unlocking a longer cycle of purpose, growth, and luck, especially around the themes of abundance, vision, and philosophy. Jupiter returns typically occur around age 12-13, expansion of identity and education, age 24-25, first philosophical independence, age 36-37, soul-aligned ambition and teaching, age 48-49, wisdom leadership, age 60-61, rebirth of optimism and life meaning. Each return brings with it a new set of blessings, but also choices about how the person will grow. How to explain it to a client. Clients should understand this is a major cycle reset, a point where the universe invites you to grow, trust more deeply, and expand beyond former limits. You might say, your Jupiter return is like a door swinging open. New opportunities, teachers, and visions tend to emerge during this time. It shows where your soul wants to expand next, what kind of luck you're attracting, and what part of life you're meant to grow into. It's not just luck. It's about how well you align with your deeper values, beliefs, and joy. Use metaphors. Jupiter return is a cosmic graduation ceremony from the last 12 years, followed by a spiritual enrollment in the next level of learning. It's the universe asking, are you ready to level up? Clarify that Jupiter doesn't guarantee outcomes. It opens doors, but the client has to walk through them with awareness. How to encourage the client to get it. Emphasize the rare and potent nature of this timing. You can say, this only happens once every 12 years. It's an incredibly valuable tool for understanding your next chapter. If you're feeling a shift but don't know what it means, this chart will clarify your growth direction. This is the best time to align with your spiritual or entrepreneurial goals. Jupiter is supporting your expansion. Scenario positioning. If a client is around 24, 36, 48, or 60, you're in a Jupiter return. Let's use that energy wisely. For clients in education, publishing, healing, or leadership, Jupiter return brings major breakthroughs when you align with truth and generosity. Ideal use cases. When a client is nearing or just past a Jupiter return. As part of a long-term planning session, e.g. vision work, 5 to 10-year goals. For spiritual seekers ready for deeper meaning. For entrepreneurs, creatives, or educators entering a new phase. Positioning tips for astrologers. Anchor the Jupiter return into the context of a client's long-term growth arc. Contrast it with more difficult transits like Saturn to show its expansive nature. If the Jupiter return occurs in a challenging house, e.g. 12th or 8th, explain that growth may be internal before it becomes external. Saturn return. The rite of passage. The Saturn return is one of the most defining astrological events in a person's life. It occurs approximately every 29.5 years when transiting Saturn returns to the exact degree and sign it occupied at your birth. This happens around ages 28-30, first return 57-60, second, and 86-88, third. Saturn return marks a period of intense restructuring, karmic confrontation, and maturity. It is a cosmic checkpoint where the individual is called to step into greater personal authority, responsibility, and alignment with their long-term purpose. Unlike Jupiter's expansive nature, Saturn compresses, disciplines, and tests, but in doing so, it builds the strongest foundations of our lives. How to explain it to a client? Clients should understand that the Saturn return is not a punishment, it is a sacred initiation. You might explain, your Saturn return is life asking you to grow up, but on your own terms. This is when the universe clears out what no longer works so you can build what's real. It's where karmic patterns come to the surface and say, it's time to face this, fix this, or build this. Use supportive metaphors. Saturn return is like building your first real house after years of blueprint planning. It's like moving from a student of life to a mature co-creator of your destiny. It's a soul contract checkpoint. Are you honoring the work you came here to do? Let them know. It's common to feel overwhelmed, face relationship or career shifts, or experience crises during this time, but it is all in service of building long-term clarity, structure, and strength. How to encourage the client to get it? This is one of the easiest offerings to position because the Saturn return brings unavoidable pressure. You might say, if you're between 28 and 30 or 57 and 60, you are absolutely in a Saturn return. Let's help you navigate it consciously. Everything that feels like it's falling apart right now, it's Saturn realigning you with what's real. This chart helps you work with the energy instead of against it. This is the best time to get crystal clear on your boundaries, values, career goals, and legacy. Emotional language is powerful here. It's not easy, but it's sacred. This is the becoming chapter of your life. If you're willing to do the inner work, this becomes the most rewarding cycle of your life. Ideal use cases. Clients age 27-31 or 56-61, especially near the Saturn return date. Clients facing breakdowns in career, partnerships, or identity. When a client feels lost or stuck despite having achieved outward success. For people stepping into leadership, parenthood, entrepreneurship, or personal responsibility. Positioning tips for astrologers. Honor the gravity of the Saturn return while offering hope and structure. Explain that this is a time to commit to the right relationships, to career mastery, to inner truth. Reassure the client that discomfort is normal, and that this chart helps them face it with wisdom and foresight. Use this session to offer practical strategies for structure, boundaries, time mastery, and letting go of false identities. Mars return, igniting the will to act. A Mars return occurs approximately every 2 years, when Mars returns to the exact sign and degree it occupied at the time of birth. This short but potent return marks the beginning of a new action cycle, rebooting the client's energy, desire, ambition, and assertiveness. While Jupiter return deals with opportunity and Saturn return with responsibility, Mars return is about execution, the raw will to act, compete, assert, pursue, and conquer. It affects how we initiate goals, channel aggression, take risks, and pursue what we want. Each Mars return sets the tone for motivation and drive, sexual vitality and physical stamina, how to pursue goals efficiently, potential conflicts and how to assert boundaries. How to explain it to a client. Clients should understand this return as a reboot of their personal fire and focus. You might say, your Mars return shows where and how your energy wants to move in the next 2 years. It's like a relaunch of your inner warrior, how you take action, fight for what matters, and stay on task. It helps you work smarter, not just harder, by identifying where your efforts will bring the best results. Clarify the personal nature of Mars. It governs libido, courage, assertiveness, independence, and conflict patterns. It influences physical health and energy rhythms. It triggers a desire for fresh goals, new projects, or athletic or sexual renewal. Use metaphors. Mars return is like sharpening your blade for a new mission. It's a reset of your internal engine and steering wheel. How to encourage the client to get it. The Mars return is an excellent short cycle reading to recommend for clients seeking direction, motivation, or productivity shifts. You can say, if you feel drained, directionless, or overwhelmed, it may be because your Mars cycle is restarting and you need to align with it. This is the perfect reading when you want to launch something new or feel like you're hitting resistance and need to course correct. It helps you understand how to use your passion, sexuality, and courage wisely over the next 2 years. Tailor suggestions. For creatives, let's explore what project Mars wants you to bring into the world. For professionals, this cycle will show how to channel your ambition with better strategy. For those in healing/recovery, we can see how to rebuild your energy and learn healthy boundaries. Ideal use cases. Every 2 years to track productivity, athletic goals, or major life plans. When launching a new business, job, fitness routine, or relationship. For people managing anger issues, assertiveness challenges, or burnout. After feeling a prolonged energy slump or restlessness. Positioning tips for astrologers. Emphasize that Mars governs both constructive drive and destructive impulse. This chart helps steer it constructively. Mars returns are great for creating a strategy, when to push, when to rest, what to pursue. You can compare current Mars placement to natal Mars sign for deeper coaching. For example, Mars is now in Libra, but you were born with Mars in Aries. Let's explore how to balance this shift. Uranus opposition, the midlife awakening. The Uranus opposition occurs around ages 40 to 42, when transiting Uranus stands exactly opposite its natal placement in the birth chart. This is one of the most dramatic and psychologically intense transits of midlife. It disrupts the status quo, challenges identity, and catalyzes personal liberation. Unlike the cyclical softness of Jupiter or the structural challenge of Saturn, Uranus represents the archetype of the rebel, the awakener, and the divine disruptor. This is not a return, but a polarization of your natal Uranian energy. It brings external chaos or inner rebellion that serves a deeper purpose, the realignment of your life with freedom, authenticity, and soul-aligned truth. How to explain it to a client. This transit can feel like life spinning sideways, so helping the client make meaning of it is essential. You might say, this is your cosmic wake-up call. It's the time in life when your soul refuses to live in a box any longer. If things are shaking, it's not destruction for its own sake. It's a breakdown of the false so the true self can emerge. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself that were suppressed or sacrificed for security. Let them know, this is not a crisis, it is an initiatory threshold into the second half of life. The rebellion may be internal, against limiting beliefs, or external, against career, relationship, family dynamics. If approached consciously, it leads to radical clarity, liberation, and truth. Use metaphors, like an earthquake that reveals hidden foundations, like thunder that splits the sky, clearing what's outdated, like a reboot of the operating system of the soul. How to encourage the client to get it. Many clients come during this time already confused, unstable, or seeking reinvention. You can say, you're in the middle of the Uranus opposition, that's why nothing feels stable, but there's meaning in this chaos. This chart helps us find it. If you're feeling trapped in a life that once made sense, this reading can help you reclaim your freedom without burning everything down. This isn't the time to suppress your discomfort. It's time to understand what it's trying to awaken. Encouragement strategies. Position this product as a mirror and a map. We reflect what's rising and map how to move through it intentionally. Normalize the instability. Most people go through this. You're not broken, you're being reborn. Ideal use cases. For clients aged 39 to 43, anyone experiencing a midlife identity, marriage, or career crisis, those suddenly pursuing radical changes, travel, divorce, creative calling, spiritual seekers wanting deeper liberation from conditioning. Positioning tips for astrologers. Approach with non-judgmental compassion. This is a raw, sacred period. Encourage integration rather than suppression or impulsive upheaval. Help clients discern the difference between a soul-aligned disruption and an avoidant escape. Validate the confusion but reframe it as opportunity. What would the free version of you choose next? Weekly transits, real-time cosmic guidance. Weekly transits are short-term planetary movements tracked against a client's natal chart. This service interprets how the current positions of planets, especially fast movers like the Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, activate personal placements, highlighting emerging energies, mood shifts, and daily decisions. Unlike long-term forecasting tools like the solar return or progressions, weekly transits offer in-the-moment clarity, ideal for navigating the ever-changing rhythm of life. Each weekly reading interprets active transits to natal planets, shifts in moon signs, Mercury retrogrades, planetary ingresses, day-by-day energy patterns and triggers. practical, emotional, relational, or work-related advice. How to explain it to a client. This is a precision guidance tool for everyday life. You might say, think of this as your cosmic weather forecast. It tells you when to push forward, when to pause, and what inner energies are being activated this week. If something feels off, we'll often see it reflected in the transits. And more importantly, we can respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Weekly transits are great for staying grounded while still growing. They show you how to ride the waves instead of being tossed by them. Use analogies, like a GPS recalculating your route based on traffic ahead, like a spiritual calendar that syncs your life to the planetary rhythm, like tuning into your emotional barometer before the storm. Clarify scope. This is not a deep soul chart. It's tactical insight for this week's challenges, moods, opportunities, and timing. How to encourage the client to get it. This product is perfect for ongoing coaching-style support or for clients in fast-moving or high-pressure phases. You can say, if you're juggling a lot, career decisions, relationship shifts, or inner growth, this weekly reading keeps you synced with the timing of the universe. You'll be amazed how specific and accurate these week-by-week themes can be. It's like getting insight exactly when you need it. This is ideal for clients who like regular support and responsiveness to what's happening now. Position it as a maintenance offering after a major chart, like the Natal or solar return. A gift to oneself during transition, uncertainty, or growth. A flexible and adaptable tool. Some clients prefer voice notes, texts, or short sessions. Ideal use cases. Clients navigating emotionally turbulent weeks or needing quick insight. Artists, therapists, and coaches who rely on energy-sensitive timing. Decision makers needing guidance on when to act, pitch, launch, or rest. Spiritual seekers syncing with the cosmos for ritual, meditation, or manifestation work. Positioning tips for astrologers. Emphasize flexibility. This can be a one-time check-in or part of a regular package. If the client's natal chart is already understood, weekly transits help you stay responsive in real time. Don't overload with technicalities. Keep it practical, intuitive, and relevant to what's happening this week. Encourage journaling or reflection between sessions to deepen results. Monthly transits plus lunar return as strategic 30-day map. Monthly transits plus lunar return is a hybrid forecasting tool that combines monthly transits, tracking how ongoing planetary movements activate your natal chart across a full month, focusing on both fast and slow-moving planets. Lunar return, a specialized chart cast for the exact moment the moon returns to its natal position each month, revealing emotional focus, psychological climate, and internal themes for the next 28 to 30 days. Together, they form a comprehensive month-ahead reading that integrates both outer world changes, transits, and inner world shifts, lunar return, giving clients a clear map of both external circumstances and internal processing. This is not just prediction, it's preparation and alignment. How to explain it to a client. Help the client understand that this is next-level guidance for living in rhythm with their soul. You might say, this chart helps you set emotional, professional, and spiritual intentions each month based on where the planetary winds are blowing. Your lunar return shows what's emotionally dominant for you this month. The transits show where the universe is applying pressure or opening doors. Together, they help you make smarter decisions, feel more in control, and trust your inner timing. Break down the dual components. Monthly transits track planetary movements through your houses. Key aspects, for example, Saturn square Venus equals to relational tension. Activation windows for productivity, love, conflict, or breakthroughs. Lunar return focuses on emotional tone of the month, core lessons and vulnerabilities, psychological themes and reactive tendencies. Use analogies. Monthly transits are the compass, the lunar return is the emotional terrain, like checking both the weather forecast and mood forecast for the month. How to encourage the client to get it. This product is ideal for clients seeking structure, emotional awareness, and intuitive flow. You can say, if you want to live intentionally rather than reactively, this chart gives you foresight for both your head and your heart. Many of our most empowered clients use this monthly to plan emotional check-ins, launches, relationship talks, or personal rituals. If weekly readings are for navigating the moment, this is the map that helps you design the entire month. Offer lifestyle examples. For business owners, know when to schedule launches or when to step back. For artists or empaths, use your lunar return to explore creative or emotional cycles with awareness. For spiritual clients, you can align this with your full moon or new moon practices. Ideal use cases. Clients seeking midterm planning, not too fast like weekly, not too abstract like yearly. Emotional processors who want to understand recurring mood cycles. Coaches, healers, entrepreneurs planning calendars aligned with inner rhythms. Clients experiencing repeating monthly challenges, burnout, anxiety, relationship loops. Positioning tips for astrologers. Anchored the lunar return as a powerful inner tracking tool. Many clients have never heard of it but immediately resonate with its accuracy. Recommend this product after a natal chart reading, especially for those working through healing cycles, productivity loops, or inner child work. Highlight how this chart helps manage overwhelm by focusing on just 1 month at a time, making big goals feel manageable. Encourage journaling or moon cycle check-ins to deepen client insight between sessions. Romantic relationships chart synastry for soulful connection. The romantic relationships chart is a comparative analysis of 2 natal charts focused on love, intimacy, attraction, and emotional compatibility. Using tools such as synastry, planet-to-planet comparisons, and composite charts, merged charts representing the relationship as an entity, this reading explores the magnetic forces, friction points, karmic ties, and long-term potential within a romantic dynamic. Unlike personal charts that focus on individual growth, this offering reveals how each person impacts the other, what core emotional needs are being met or missed. Whether the connection is karmic, complementary, or transitional, it's not about good or bad match. It's about energetic awareness and conscious choice. How to explain it to a client. This is your most emotionally charged offering, and it must be introduced with care and maturity. You might say, this isn't about predicting whether it will work. It's about understanding how your energies interact so you can grow with more awareness and compassion. We look at how you each trigger and inspire one another, what's easy, what's challenging, and what's karmically significant. This chart doesn't make decisions for you, it gives you the information you need to love with more clarity and strength. Help them see what it provides. Emotional chemistry and compatibility patterns. Attachment styles, romantic needs, intimacy rhythms. Relationship karma and soul agreements. Growth points. Communication, trust, sex, commitment. Use metaphors. Synastry is like reading the magnetic dance between 2 auras. The composite chart is like seeing the soul of the relationship itself. Clarify. This is useful in any romantic phase, dating, long-term partnerships, or even post-breakup closure. How to encourage the client to get it. Many clients seek astrology for love questions. This offering allows you to position it not as fortune-telling, but as empowered love literacy. You can say, if you want to understand your patterns, triggers, and desires in this connection, this reading gives you a language for what you're feeling. This isn't about judgment, it's about insight. Whether you're staying or leaving, the clarity you gain can change how you love forever. If your relationship feels intense, confusing, or soul deep, this can help explain why. Use emotional touch points. Let's understand what's true, not just what's exciting. We can look at where you're helping each other grow and where you might be asking too much. Tailor recommendations. For new relationships, explore chemistry and long-term potential before overcommitting. For long-term couples, use this to strengthen communication and renew shared purpose. For heartbreak or ambiguity, gain closure and self-trust before making decisions. Ideal use cases. Romantic partnerships of any stage, dating, marriage, complicated. Clients with recurring love patterns or confusion in relationships. Times of major decisions, moving in, breaking up, getting engaged. Breakup closure or karmic understanding of painful bonds. Positioning tips for astrologers. Never promise soulmate validation or compatibility scoring. Always frame as insight, not judgment. Emphasize that all aspects, even hard ones, have purpose when met with consciousness. Reassure that love isn't a formula. This tool supports choice, it doesn't replace it. Be sensitive to emotional intensity, create space for validation and integration, not just facts. Friendship Relationships Chart, Understanding Energetic Bonds Beyond Romance. What it is. The Friendship Relationships Chart is a synastry-based comparison between two natal charts, just like in romantic readings, but with a focus on non-romantic dynamics, including trust, communication, loyalty, shared values, and soul contracts in platonic relationships. Whether it's a best friend, sibling, mentor, or co-creative partner, this reading uncovers how two individuals understand and support one another, where challenges in communication or emotional processing arise, shared soul goals or karmic bonds in this lifetime. Friendships can be just as transformational, and sometimes even more enduring than romantic relationships, and this chart helps illuminate how and why. How to explain it to a client. This product helps clients honor the sacredness of non-romantic bonds. You might say, this reading helps you understand how you and another person connect, not as lovers, but as energetic allies in this life. Some friendships are soul contracts. This chart helps us see what you're here to offer each other and what lessons may arise. It's also helpful if you're dealing with confusion or tension in a friendship and want to resolve it with more awareness. Clarify what it includes. Trust dynamics, boundaries and respect, mental chemistry and shared vision, emotional mismatch or mismatch in expectations, energetic compatibility, fun, support, leadership, rivalry. Use metaphors, like reading the weather patterns between two emotional ecosystems, a map of where your friendship flows and where it hits rocks. You can also explain that this isn't less than a romantic chart, it's simply focused differently. How to encourage the client to get it. Position this offering as part of emotional hygiene and community awareness. Many clients carry emotional confusion, guilt, or unspoken issues in friendships. You can say, if you're struggling with a close friend or just want to understand why they affect you so deeply, this reading offers healing clarity. Friendships can have karmic roots too. This chart can help you recognize why someone feels familiar or why the bond is challenging yet irreplaceable. This is perfect for chosen family, co-creators, and even those trying to understand estranged or difficult relationships. Offer gentle use cases. A friend who comes in and out of your life. A connection that feels meant to be but confusing. Recurring conflict in a platonic bond. Business partners or collaborators who aren't romantically involved. Ideal use cases. Clients with intense or emotionally complicated friendships. Friendships under stress or undergoing transformation. Situations where boundaries, loyalty, or values are unclear. Spiritual allies, teacher-student bonds, or chosen family dynamics. Positioning tips for astrologers. Emphasize the dignity and importance of friendship as a karmic path. Avoid over-sentimentalizing. Present it as a functional, emotional, and soulful tool. Help clients navigate grief, guilt, or unresolved tensions with maturity. Use this chart to restore clarity, honor endings, or reinforce commitment. Business Relationship Chart Strategic Alignment through Synastry. What it is. The Business Relationship Chart compares two natal charts with a focus on professional dynamics, collaboration, and long-term compatibility in non-romantic, goal-oriented relationships. It includes business partners, co-founders, mentors, creative collaborators, and even employer-employee interactions. Using the tools of synastry and optionally composite charts, this reading examines communication and decision-making compatibility, power dynamics, leadership styles, and conflict resolution, complementary strengths and overlapping weaknesses, karmic contracts around purpose, success, and accountability. This chart is practical, high impact, and rooted in the real-world challenges of working with others while honoring soul-level agreements. How to explain it to a client. Help clients understand that energy affects everything, including business. You might say this chart shows how you and your collaborator operate as a team, what works, what doesn't, and how to maximize your combined potential. We look at communication flow, trust dynamics, creative synergy, and where stress is likely to build under pressure. Just like in love, every professional relationship has a rhythm. This chart helps you understand it clearly before investing more time or energy. What it reveals. Leadership compatibility and delegation style. Differences in ambition, pace, and risk-taking. alignment or misalignment of goals, values, and timelines. Whether the relationship is built to last or built to teach. Use metaphors, like blueprinting the internal structure of a business partnership, a manual for how your two minds, energies, and visions fuse or clash. Clarify scope. This is not about profit prediction. It's about interpersonal alignment and mutual success strategies. How to encourage the client to get it. This offering is easy to position as a risk reduction tool in professional decisions. You can say, before you sign a contract, co-found a business, or enter a collaboration, this chart helps you understand what you're walking into. So many business relationships fall apart not because of bad ideas, but because of unspoken energetic mismatches. This helps you prevent that. This chart helps you work smarter together by highlighting the natural dynamics of your partnership, where to lean in and where to draw boundaries. Offer practical scenarios. Before launching a joint venture or company, when working closely with a boss, co-lead, or project manager, to resolve tension in a long-standing collaboration. For coaches who want to understand client relationships more deeply. Ideal use cases. Entrepreneurs, co-founders, and creative collaborators, corporate leaders or team members with persistent interpersonal friction, business partners feeling out of sync or unclear on next steps, coaches, consultants, or therapists wanting to understand client dynamics. Positioning tips for astrologers. Present this as a professional optimization tool. Emphasize clarity, communication, and long-term vision. Keep the tone strategic and grounded, less about fate, more about function. Integrate career houses, 10th, 6th, Mercury for communication and Mars-Saturn for productivity alignment. Emphasize neutrality. This isn't about blame, it's about insight and improvement. Predictive event chart, horary. Timely insight for specific questions. What it is. Horary astrology is a traditional technique used to answer specific questions by casting a chart for the exact moment the question is asked. Unlike natal or transit charts, this chart is not tied to a birth date, but to the timing of the inquiry itself. It is designed to provide clear symbolic insight into pressing or binary situations, especially when a client wants fast, focused answers about timing, decisions, or outcomes. Horary is precise and, when used correctly, offers surprisingly direct clarity on matters such as, will this job come through? Is this person being honest with me? Is this the right time to move? Will the deal go through successfully? How to explain it to a client. This is not a life overview, it is surgical insight for a well-defined question. You might say, horary is like consulting the universe's decision tree. It gives us a symbolic answer based on the moment your question came into full clarity. We don't look at your birth chart here, we look at the questions chart, which holds the answer if asked with sincerity and intention. It helps us determine yes/no answers, likely timing, hidden motives, and surrounding circumstances. Use metaphors. Like throwing a stone in the water and reading the ripples. It's the astrological version of divination, but structured and rule-based. Like asking the oracle a single, powerful question at the right moment. Clarify scope. Horary works best with specific, time-bound questions, not open-ended life themes. It is most useful when a client feels stuck and needs immediate clarity. How to encourage the client to get it. This product is ideal when clients are facing important choices, ambiguity, or situations where time is of the essence. You can say, if you're facing a fork in the road and need immediate clarity, horary can help. When a full reading isn't practical, this is a surgical strike. It gets to the root of a specific question quickly. You'll walk away with a definitive insight, not a vague suggestion. Use scenarios. Deciding between job offers, homes, or investments. Wondering if a relationship will reconcile or progress. Sensing dishonesty in personal or professional situations. Navigating big decisions under deadline. You can also position it as a mini reading option for returning clients between full sessions. Ideal use cases. Binary or yes/no questions. For example, will the first hear back this week? Clients in high stress or time-sensitive situations. When natal or transit-based answers feel too broad. As a supplemental tool between major readings. Positioning tips for astrologers. Set client expectations. Horary is precise, but it requires clear, well-formed questions. Avoid using it casually, frame it as sacred and specific. If clients are vague, coach them to refine their question before casting the chart. Avoid overloading with interpretations, focus on clarity and brevity.